Welcome everyone to today's guest seminar by GREedge, where one of our own Apurv would be discussing about his admission journey. So before we get started with the webinar, I would just like to make a quick announcement that all your mics have been muted by default by the GoToWebinar software. And in case you want to ask questions to Apurv or get or answer some of my questions, and have a good discussion throughout the webinar, which will be helpful for you guys. Just you can type in your question or answer in the chat box on the right side. So just to make sure that everyone can hear me well, can you just type in GRE in capitals in the chat box so that we can quickly get started with the webinar. Okay, great. Priyanka, Nikhil, Chinmay, Shreyas, Dhruv, great guys. I love the energy and welcome everyone, all those people who are coming right now. And just to start off, I would like to know who all are there today. There are a lot of people here and waiting to listen from Apurv today. But just to understand the kind of audience I have today, and so that we both can talk and give tips accordingly, I will just initiate some polls on your screens right now, and they will be showing on your screens. Quickly answer it. I've launched a question on the screen, which is, what are you currently pursuing right now? Just to understand who all are here today. And all those people who are joining right now, Sophia, Shrishti, Sushmita, Tanmay, Divyani, Gargi. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to today's guest seminar. And just a quick announcement again for all those people who just joined in right now is that, that your mics have been muted by default by the GoToWebinar portal. In case you want to ask any questions, answer any of our questions, then you can just type in into the chat box. This poll that is up right now, I will just close it and initiate the second poll on your screen. Okay, I can see a lot of working professionals here and fourth years as well. That's nice. And a couple of second years and third years. This is one webinar which I feel will be very, very helpful for all the different sectors like second years, third years, because we have Apurv. You will get to know him in a little while, but he's someone who started off preparing a long time back. But having little setbacks in his way, he did figure out how to get admits from the top universities, which one of them is Georgia Tech. So moving ahead, I'm just launching the second question on your screen, which is, when are you giving your GRE? Which is very important. The basic step, the first step to your admission process is the GRE exam, to understand who all have given and who all have already given, because this will be a useful webinar for both these sections. So yeah. Okay, I can see a lot of people who have already written their GRE. That's great. And people putting in their GRE scores as well. And yes, we will get on to discussing the GRE and how to go about GRE. I can see a lot of people with a 308 and 302, 300. That's great. You don't have to worry. We will be discussing on how to move forward from this point onwards. I'll just close this poll right now and move on to the next question on your screen, which is, which is the admission season that all of you are targeting right now? This is the last question, guys. So quickly fill it so that we can start off with today's webinar. Okay, I can see most of you people going for the fall 2020, and I've got most of you people voting here. I'll close down the poll now, and before I get just a minute. Hi everyone, and as I said, just a minute. So before we get started, I would just like to introduce myself. I'm Nivedha, Student Welfare Officer from GREedge, and I will be hosting this GREedge guest seminar with all of you, with Apurv as well. So just Apurv, can you switch on your camera now, please? Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Apurv. So can you just start by introducing yourself?
Hello everyone. My name is Apurv Singh Gautam. I'm from Varanasi, UP. Currently, I'm pursuing my master's in cybersecurity from Georgia Institute of Technology or Georgia Tech. I completed my bachelor's from Symbiosis Institute of Technology, Pune. My bachelor was in information technology. I scored 304 in my GRE. I scored 161 in my quants and 143 in my verbal. I scored 8.68 GPA, 8.6, yeah, 8.86 GPA until my application. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, great, guys. So all of you people, just a minute. Yeah. So we have Apurv here who he did a UG in computer IT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and got a score of 304 in his GRE and managed to get amazing admits in Georgia Tech as well as four other amazing admits. We will be looking at them as we move ahead. Uh, so before I start with your entire admission journey, Apurv, can you just talk about or tell us and tell everyone as to what were your primary motivations or what was your intention? Why are you going for your MS abroad? What is the motivation behind?
Okay, so I started my journey in cybersecurity when I was in 10th class. So I was very fascinated by it, and I knew back then that I want to study cybersecurity. But as you know, there's no college in cybersecurity, or there's no college in India in bachelor's that's offering cybersecurity. So yeah, I planned for my master's back then.
Okay, so as we see, we have someone here who had decided on his course of interest, his field of interest way before. And just to understand, like we'll first of all start. So most of you, I just want to know here, what is the field that all of you are targeting? I could see a lot of people going for fall 2020. So what are the courses that everyone are targeting right now? Okay, Chinmay here is again targeting so cybersecurity. I have aerodynamics, communication engineering, a lot of data science, maths. Okay, great. I love the energy here. And okay, a lot of them coming up. That's great, guys. Best of luck. And we will be discussing on how we can go about it. Useful tips that from his experience, Apurv will share with all of you. And moving ahead, Apurv, so you had decided on cybersecurity. You knew what you wanted to do, but what were the universities and courses was cybersecurity, obviously. But what were the universities that you were targeting, or were your dream universities when you started off with your admission process?
Okay, so I started out with four universities in my mind: Carnegie Mellon, Georgia Institute of Technology, University of Maryland, and Rochester Institute of Technology. So these were the four colleges I was targeting for in cybersecurity.
Okay, great. And can you just explain to them about your timeline as to how did you get these admits and when did you start applying for them? We will have a very brief discussion about, we will have a detailed discussion about it as we move ahead. But just for them to understand when you started applying for the universities and when you got your admit as well.
Okay, so I gave my GRE by July, and I'm my Toefl by August, and I started applying. I think September, between September and October, and I was finished at the end of October. Yeah, I finished applying at the end of October and November first week, and I got my first admit in December, and the rest of the admits in Feb and March.
Okay, Apurv. We will be talking, as I said, just for all of you to understand that these are the admits that he got and just about how he got these admits. Before moving on to the admission, I just want to understand what are the universities that each one of you are targeting right now? Okay, I can see a lot of response here, Apurv. I have Georgia, CMU. Okay, my whole question box is full of universities. Great. Okay, I can see a lot of people going for Georgia Tech University as well, and Northeastern. Yeah. So yeah, I can see a lot of universities here, and we will see on how he went about his admission program. But just before he started with his admission journey, I would like to Apurv to just explain as to how you did your profile building aspect. Because the first time I talked to you, I could see that you had a very strong profile building that you had followed throughout your college and school as well, actually. So if you could just take them through your entire process of doing different research works in your field of interest, that would be great.
Okay, yeah. So as I told you, I started in my 10th. So I did some trainings back then for covering the basics stuff. And when I started my college, I tried to do most of the projects focusing on security. And apart from ACADS, I did many projects on my own also. And apart from projects, I did one research. I wrote one research paper under professor before applying in my third year. And yeah, I did also did internship in security. So
Okay, so Apurv here, most of the students, probably I could see a lot of people from second, third year as well, and fourth years also. And getting internships is actually not that easy. So if you could just take them through the process that you went through and how you landed up with these internships in the area of your interest.
okay, so yeah, like many others, I just started googling for available internship positions in security. First of all, I didn't find many because many big companies didn't take internships in security. So I can tell you, my college has two options: either go for 6 month internship or either go for 2 months. So I couldn't find any 6 month internship there. So I had to go for 2 month internship, and there was a startup. They posted their internship online. So yeah, that's the way I got it, and they took my interview. So yeah.
So here, as we see, most of the people over here, all those people majorly in their second or third year, I would just like to tell you that here, it's not all by luck, right, Apurv? Like it completely takes efforts. You have to take those efforts to research about those different universities and, take that extra effort to land up in universities, create that profile around your field of interest. So here, like Apurv said, he researched about different internships that he can take up, took up the opportunities that came his way, like colleges. So even your colleges would have all these opportunities which you should be dragging. I like understand there will be fourth years and working professionals. We will come to you guys as well. So just a second, I'm released. Just a second. I'm really sorry. Just a second, guys. There seems to be a technical glitch here. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. I'm really sorry for this pause. Yeah. So we were talking about how to go about profile evaluation. And as I understand, most of you here are fourth years and working professionals. So, Apurv, for them, profile evaluation is not, profile building right now is not that great an option. That is not an option that they have right now. So, according to you, according to your experience from your friends, whoever, from your experience, what do you think the students right now who cannot really work on their research work or other aspects, how can they go about profile building?
Well, for the final year, I don't think they have time for either writing research paper. What they can do, like there are three, there are three things. Either you have research paper, you have good internship, or you have good work experience. So if there's no time for either of these three, then they can focus on their SOPs. And yeah, main thing is SOP. They can focus on their SOP. Or for the working professionals, I think they have working experience, so that would count as a good profile. Yeah. So
Yes. So we will be moving on to discussing about how to write a good SOP because that seems to be one important fact that played in your profile
yeah.
after getting a score of 304. So all those people, any kind of doubts that you have about whatever we're discussing, you can just keep asking, but we do have an exclusive Q&A session in the end, which you can ask your questions to Apurv. But as we move ahead, like an important aspect that you said, I'm pretty most of you people would have noticed here, was that you have a research paper publication, Apurv, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you, because you would be knowing as well, in publishing a paper is not an easy job. And I can see a lot of people asking over here that how to go about it as well. So if you could just help them on how to go about a research paper publication. How can they start off even now?
Okay, so like this will be most helpful for second and third years. So just talk to professors because you cannot write a research paper without a professor. Talk to them, tell them about your interest. Like I told my professor, like I told, yeah, she knew like I am interested in cybersecurity. So she, when she got a project or offer for research paper, she offered me, would you like to write about it or not? So, like, yeah, professor should know what field are you targeting for, and whether you are interested in writing a research paper or not. And it's not an easy task. I mean, it takes time in writing paper. Like it took around 6 months for me. For writing a paper is 1 or 2 months, but the review process takes longer. So my review process was three steps of review process. So yeah, it took 6 months. I think I started in December and my research paper was published around July.
Okay. Just so this is something the whole research paper publication, as all of us know, is not an easy job. And like you're saying, it takes at least a 6 month process. So this is just something like he said that you can start off with. But I can just see a lot of people asking to read out your SOP. So I think here, Nupur just asked to read out your SOP or just explain. We will be going to that. We will be taking up each and every bit of Apur's SOP. He will explain how he went about what were the important aspects. So just wait till we get there. And also that I can see people asking about GRE score. So don't worry, guys. We will start. We'll slowly start with that. This is just a profile building part. So for your admission season, for you to start off with your admission season, you need that profile building aspect to it also. So all those people who cannot really start off, it doesn't matter. There are SOPs and GRE and a lot of things that you can talk about, just like Apurv had just said. So Apurv, I know we talked about your timeline now, but can you just make them go through in detail as to what all you did so that after this we can take one bit at a time and talk about how they can go about it, even if any one aspect goes down, how they can go about it.
Okay, so like I told you, I gave my GRE in July. I prepared for it for a month, and I gave my TOEFL around first week of August. uh, yeah, then I started looking into universities and applying. I started looking into universities before only, so it was a continuous process. Yeah, after when I received my scores for both TOEFL and GRE, I just started applying, and yeah, simultaneously I was also covering the SOP and LORs. So going to professors, asking for LORs, and preparing the SOP. I applied, like I told you, I applied to all the universities by the end of October, and one or two universities in first week of November. So yeah, because that's the ideal time you should apply to universities. Yeah.
Okay, so as everyone can see, this is the timeline that he took, but I'm pretty sure most of you right now who are attending this webinar, they don't really have the time and the liberty to follow this particular timeline. So, Apur, from your end, do you think so you might feel like you guys are already late or something, and this timeline which you followed was a very ideal one, which will make you feel like, yeah, fine, I might be late, and some of you would be actually discouraged or actually not sure of whether you should be going ahead or not. So, Apur, what do you have to tell for all those people who right now, because your timeline was very different. So, what is that you would like to tell them, or what can they do now to get those kind of admits that you got?
Okay, so for those who have already given GRE, they can do this like they are not late, because most of the colleges have deadlines starting from 15th December and after. So they can, if they do simultaneous work, they can complete their application by first week of December from now on. Yeah, just they have to do more work simultaneously at a time. So yeah, but they can do it.
Yeah. So Nikhil here, just like I thought, Nikhil here is saying I missed a chance, I guess. So Apur, what do you have to tell for him?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
So we talked about the timeline now, and Nikhil here is he's saying that I think I missed my timeline. So, or I think I missed my chance. So, what would you want to tell him about that?
Uh, I, if I mean, if you are not given GRE, or I don't know if you have given GRE or not, but in both the cases, you have time, because I have many friends who applied late, and yeah, they had to do more work than me, but they got it. So yeah, you can do it too.
Okay. And here I have Priyanka asking, what is the right time to apply to Georgia Tech?
Uh, I think Georgia Tech had a deadline in January. I don't remember it, but the ideal time is, I mean, for all the application, for all the universities, the ideal time is by the end of November or before. So, or first week of December.
Okay, so I hope your question has been answered, Priyanka. And all those people who are struggling with their time management right now, so don't be worried because it's completely possible. Like Apurv just said, it's all about actually now. It's all about parallelly working out your all the different requirements for your profile. So moving on, I right now, even if you have time, that's what he just said, right? But according to you, Apurv, so we had a conversation about this as well. So from your experience, like if they delay it anymore, because I know they have time, but they have to hurry with the process. So what do you think, if any other delay in the process, what do you think? You would have seen a lot of students, your friends applying with you. How did they go about
Okay,
it?
yeah. So yeah, most of them applied late, and applying late is not a issue. But if you get late admits, like I got my admit in Feb, most of my friends in Georgia Tech as well, they got admit by end of March or by April too. So like there's I-20 which you have to get from the university, for applying for visa. So it takes time. So you get late I-20, then you get I mean, if you don't have I-20, you can't apply for visa, so that process becomes late. So yeah, I mean, the overall thing gets delayed, and so you will give a late visa interview, and yeah, I mean.
Okay, so here, what I would like to tell you from my side would be you cannot really Okay, I can see a lot of questions coming in, a lot of profile evaluations, SOPs, scholarships. Guys, we're getting to that. We will have a proper discussion on how he went about tips for a catchy SOP, says Yashwant. Sure, we will be going to that. We have all that in store. Scholarship, we will be discussing that as well in the question and answer round, where you can ask all kind of questions to him. But here, as we see, if any kind of delay, I'm pretty sure. So, who all right now? I just want to ask who all have started with their admission journey. You can just type a yes or a no in the chat box for me to just understand. Okay, yeah, great. I can see a lot of yeses here, Apurv. Utkarsh, Virendra, Tanmay, Priyanka. Okay, great. No's also. So all those people, I would just like to tell you, I can see a lot of no's also. Uh, Make that decision quickly because the deadlines are coming in, and especially the priority deadlines are coming in as well. So just be quick about your decision right now and start off with the admission journey. And going to the first step of the entire GRE the entire admission program. So, Apurv, you, as we all know, most of the students here are interested on how to go about GRE, not how to go about GRE, but how to deal with a low GRE score or how to go about it. What do you think? How to go about it?
I mean, I would say try to focus on quants. Like what I did, I knew I couldn't prepare a verbal in 1 month time period. So I just tried to focus on getting above 160 in quants because most of the colleges they pay attention to quants. And yeah, that was my main like goal to get more. Obviously, I was not happy with my GRE score, so yeah, I was worried like I will not get in the colleges that I decided. But yeah, you have to have a quant score above 160. So yeah.
Okay. So here Abhijit is asking, will 170 score in a quant increase the chances of an admit? Let's suppose that, okay, yeah, what do you think?
Obviously, yes. I mean, full in quants, it's very good than below it. So yeah, it definitely increases your chance.
Yeah. And again, I have a lot of people asking that if I have lower than I have Ramya asking if I have lower than 160, then how will that impact my profile? And probably a low GRE score, how will that impact my profile or my chances of getting an admit?
Actually, no one knows how they evaluate profile. Like they evaluate the whole thing, not just GRE score. So even if you have low GRE, I mean below 160, you should apply because you don't know when you get admit if they like your profile. So yeah.
That's true. Apurv, so can you just tell us as to how you felt? Like, were you worried when you started off with your admission process about your GRE score?
Yes, yeah, I was worried. All my friends they were asking me to retake GRE, and I just didn't want to go through that process again. So I
Hmm.
didn't took it. I thought, yeah, I have good profile, so why not just go with the flow? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So let me just ask everyone over here. Okay, some people were asking, what was your TOEFL score?
Okay, yeah, it was 102. So above
One.
100 is, yeah, above 100 you should get.
Okay. So I hope a lot of people were asking about your TOEFL score. But I would just like to understand who all over here are worried about their GRE score. You can just type in a yes, or you're not so sure about getting that admit in your dream university. Okay, Apurva, I have a lot of people, Sarthak, Prithvi, Kiran, Adarsh, Dinesh, Kalprit. Okay, so worried about GPA. There are people who are worried about GPA as well. So according to you, how can they go about it? How did you go past it? How did you work on it? And what are your tips for them?
I mean, if you have a low GPA also, then also you should not worry about it because I have friends who have GPA around seven above 7.5 or 7.5 or 8 between. So they too got into top universities like CMU or yeah, like this type of universities. So yeah, you should just go and apply, because you don't know when you get in which college. Yeah.
So, what according to you, like you did make it clear that you never know what kind of when you might get an admit or a reject. But what is that one or two things that you think played an important role in your profile in spite of a low, an average GRE, let's say?
Okay, so I think my profile SOP played a really important role. Other than SOP, like I told you, I had research paper and an internship in the same field that I was applying to. So that's the main thing most of the students don't get. Like most of my friends, they did internship in suppose some other field, like let's say web development, and they are applying for machine learning or data science. So that shouldn't be the case. The yeah, if you are applying into data science, then you should have some internship or work ex in data science. So yeah.
That's right. So profile building is extremely important, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So over here, Akhilesh is asking, will it be possible to share profile of Apurv? I mean, I could understand what does it take to build your profile. So right now we did talk about the profile. We talked about his entire profile. And Akhilesh, I also want to like to know what is that course that you're targeting. So profile building around that is very, very important. Is what exactly knowing what internships he's been doing or what he did is not exactly helpful. So do your research just like he did. You will end up with good internships and will learn a lot in that way, and which you can showcase to the universities as well. So moving on from your GRE part, I'm pretty sure. So now, all those people who are worried about GRE score, are you a little confident about going forward with the admission process? If you are, can you just type in a yes in the chat box? Or at least willing to try? Are you a little motivated about going forward with it? You have that little hope in you, because here we have a living example of who actually worked despite everything. Okay, I have one saying yes, somewhat. Okay, do have that grit in you to go forward with it. And moving past the GRE score, I can see a lot of yeses coming. Sarvana, Nikhil, Mohi, Ajay, Akhilesh. It's great that you're motivated from Apurv. That's great. So, damn yes, says Dinesh. Okay, so moving ahead, since you are at least hopeful about it, let's see how you can go about it, right? So the first step in the admission process, which is extremely important, is the university shortlisting. So Apurv, can you just okay, this before asking you, I would like to know who all have started with the university selection process, or you have some universities in mind. Just type in a yes. Pratap, scholarship, we will discuss it soon. Uh, there are a lot of people wanting to know about scholarship as well. So we will be talking about that in the Q&A session in the end, as I told you. Okay, I can see a lot of people who have started it. So who all are worried about whether you will actually end up in the right university, which is the right fit for you? Just type in a me in the chat box. Is that something that you worry about? We will talk about. Yeah, I can see a lot of people worried. So Apurv now. Okay, wow, I can see a lot of people. So Apurv, how did you go about the whole university selection process? It's the building blocks of the admission process. So how did you go about that?
Okay, so yeah, I started early. I think before giving my GRE or before booking my slot for GRE, I started with Google search, like good universities, top universities in cybersecurity. No, I was not targeting for just the top universities overall, because uh, department matters. Like suppose if there's a CS department top university, so it's I mean there's no chance. There's less chance that it will be top in some other field also. So yeah, I just started with Google search, and I got a website, like there was a website csrankings.info something. So it showed me the research papers that they are publishing per year basis. So yeah, I took the universities from there also, which were publishing research papers in cybersecurity. After that, when I shortlisted some 8 to 10 universities for cybersecurity, I just went on the websites for universities, and I looked up professors, the research paper or the research ongoing research, and the I mean if they have any club or research groups in cybersecurity. So that was my or and also the coursework. So yeah, that's how I shortlisted my university.
Okay, so few pointers to take away from this is you should, instead of focusing on the rankings, focusing on whether the university actually offers the kind of research work that will resonate with your interest. That is extremely important. So for that, a high level of research, a lot of research is required. Having good clarity on what courses you actually want to go for is also very, very important. So I have someone asking here, Sakshi is asking, should university selection be before taking GRE or after that? So how did you go about your university selection?
Uh, like I did before. I mean, I shortlisted my universities before my GRE. I didn't thought of getting low GRE. Well, no one thinks of that. So yeah, but I didn't change my university after getting low GRE. Like I will stick to it. Like I want to apply to these four universities that I shortlisted. So yeah, I mean, I shortlisted before GRE.
Okay, so I hope your question has been answered. And I still have a lot of questions coming up about your research paper. So someone is, so Nikhil here, no, sorry, Shubham here is asking whether not having a research paper will affect your profile or not. So what would you have to tell for him, to him?
Uh, I mean, it does affect, but it's not like if you don't have it, that's not the end of the world, of course. But yeah, having a research paper, it just boosts your profile. So if you don't have it, then also it's good because you can have other things like internship or work X or anything. So yeah, it just boosts your profile. So.
That's right. Uh, Another very important question. I will just be taking a few questions here. I won't be able to take all of the questions, so guys, just promise me you will save all those questions for the end, because if we start taking up all the questions, we won't be able to finish and get to the point, which is actually very important for all of you. But here, someone is asking, since it's about university selection, then what is the kind of job opportunities that Georgia Tech has to offer from your research about the university?
Uh, well, in US, like I don't know if they know about it. So in US, there's like in India we have placements. So company comes to colleges and we just submit resumes. So here that's not the case. So each university have career fair kind of thing where not just my college, like anyone in this city can come. So yeah, they have different tables, different companies. They set up their tables and you have to go to them and uh, I mean tell them about yourself and what you did. So that's the case. I think Georgia Tech has a large career fair uh, in US. I mean entire US, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, a career fair is just the same everywhere in US. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, Apurv. So actually, before we were talking about the deadlines, so can you also tell them about the scholarship deadlines as to when they come for Georgia Tech and the different universities that you had applied for?
Okay, so yeah, I got a scholarship from one university, Rochester Institute of Technology. I got 40% scholarship from there. So the thing is, like, if a deadline is like suppose 15th December, so you should apply either 2 months or yeah, more than 1 month before. So yeah, you have a chance there because you are applying before anyone else. So they think like you have done some work for it. So yeah, you have chance for getting a scholarship. Yeah, I just got from one university. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, Pavitra, Ria, Varsha, Nikhil, Ravi Teja, all these people, you've sent a lot of questions regarding different things. So, I'll take up all these questions. So, please save it till the end, Abhijit, Nikhil, all of you guys, just leave it till the end. I'll love to ask Apurv all these questions and know about all this. So, moving ahead, so we were just talking about how to go about the university selection process and make sure that the kind of university you go for is not only on the basis of the ranking, but also if the course and the research work, clubs, and everything resonates with your interest. So, as we saw that he was pretty clear. So, Apurv, you were pretty clear about what you wanted to do from, I guess, 10th class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to ask who all over here are not that sure, because I've seen a lot of students who are not sure, like Apurv, as to what to go and how to go about it. So who all over here are not sure about the courses that they can take up, which will perfectly resonate with the kind of talents and skills that they have. So you can just type in a yes or a me in the chat box so that I understand. Okay, yeah. So I have a lot of people here. Vineet, Nikhil. Okay, a lot of people, and I can also see a lot of people are not sure about what universities to go for, and they're posting their profiles here. So just yeah, just before I get to the next topic, I would like to tell you that you can all send in your profiles. I'll send in a link where you can put in your profiles and understand what are the profile building aspects that are that you can take up right now, and what are the universities that you can go for right now. So I'll just send in a link to all of you in your chat box. You can fill in your profile there and get a call from us where you can discuss about what all courses that you can go for. So I would just like to see who all are interested. Can you just type in a yes so that I can send a link to all of you personally? Okay, so okay, I can see a lot of yeses coming here. I'll just send in the link to all of you in the chat box. So just tell me if it's clickable or not. Because I can see a lot of people asking, giving their profiles here and not sure about whether that profile will end up in Georgia Tech or different universities. So I have sent you all link right now. So you can just just click on it and tell me if it's clickable. Can you type in a yes or a no in the chat box? Okay, I can see a lot of yeses come. Okay, no. Okay, in case it's not clickable, just copy that link and place it on the Google, and you can fill in the questionnaire over there, and we can help you out with this. Because I understand not all of you would be that sure as to how to go about it, or not even sure about what courses to go for in the beginning. So that's completely okay. And Apurv, any other kind of tips that you would like to give everyone about their university selection process?
Yeah, you have to go to the websites because I see most of the students, like many of my friends also, once they land on the university website, they are just clueless. Like I know it's like US universities website, they are huge. Like
Yeah,
they are links, links,
exactly.
links, and yeah, they never end. So, but you have to take time because yeah, you cannot search it in a day. It takes time. So just take time and do it one by one for each university. So that's the main thing. You have to go on the website and search for yourself.
Okay. So in case they're not able to do it, so there are a lot of people who, like we just talked about, I could see a lot of yeses here as well. So all those people who not sure as to how to go about it, or even for research, you said you need a lot of information, you should have clarity on what you want to do. So for those people who are still confused, so what would you like to tell them, or how can they go about the process of university selection, choosing the right university for themselves?
Okay, so if they're confused about the coursework, so they should talk to their seniors or someone who can guide them. Like professor also can guide them in this case.
Yeah.
Or they can see which subjects they like more, or which projects they like to do more. So
Hmm.
yeah, they have to decide for themselves, on in which area they want to go, because that's the main thing. You cannot just go like this, like if you want to go for MS NCS. So yeah, in CS also there are different areas that you
Hmm.
should decide beforehand. which you would like to go for. So I mean, I think the seniors and professors, these are the two main source where they can go for and ask.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So having the clarity from now on is very important, guys. So try and so Tej, you say you're asked, can you guide me? So sure, I will just send in a link. I've sent you a link where you can type in. We till stick to the end where we will talk about how you can contact us for any kind of help, Tej. So stick in there, stick till the end, and I will send you the link. And as well as I can see a lot of people asking questions like, can you please choose my question, please? So please, I feel bad for not taking up the questions, but we're not left with so much time. So we will take up all these questions. Chinmay, all those people, can you please keep the questions? We will be talking about this till the end. So, getting to the topic that everybody was asking for so long, Apurv, can you tell everyone about your SOP process? How did you go about your SOP process?
Okay, so like I got low GRE, so I had to compensate for it. So the main thing was SOP that can tell about, yeah, I mean, you can tell about your entire journey, like how you got into this field, what's, I mean, what you want to do after that, and how much you are motivated to go in this field or study about this particular field. So that was the main thing, because SOP is the only thing where you can write about these things, like, yeah, how you got into field, what's your motivation. So that's the main thing. So yeah, I focus on this.
That's great. So from your experience, and even for the students who are starting off now, as everybody can see on their screen, what is the importance of the SOP in your profile? Most of you would be already knowing, but from your experience, what was the importance of the SOP?
I think, yeah, the SOP was the only thing that showed the university how much motivated I am for this particular field and what all things I did. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
I can, I showed my projects in my resume too, but they are just names of projects and what I did there. But why I choose to do those projects or why a particular project, that's in SOP. So, I mean, the motivation thing is the SOP. So you have to, yeah, you can do this in SOP only. So that's the main important thing.
Okay. Yes. So SOP, I'm pretty sure the desperation that everybody is showing, we can find out that SOP is actually very, very important in your profile. And I can see a lot of people here, Apurva. I have Nupur, I have a lot of people asking for your SOP. So this is one thing that I've seen in a lot of webinars. Like whenever I conduct webinars with people, I see this. From your experience, is we will be looking at his SOP, that's no doubt. We will be talking about different important aspects in the SOP, but is it actually helpful to probably copy, not copy, but then take away a lot of some other people's SOP?
Uh, well, I would suggest against it because in my case, I didn't look up for any SOPs. I didn't look up for any sample SOPs that's available on internet. So I just stick to my own. Yeah, I didn't wanted to just get words from different SOPs because if you read it once, you are gonna get some words or you're gonna write some words in your SOP from other. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
didn't want to do it. So yeah, I was pretty sure like what I want to, what's the outline of, what would be outline for my SOP. So yeah, I just didn't took, yeah, look at other SOPs.
Yeah, but just once more, I would like to tell everyone that we will be looking into his SOP and discussing as to what all are the aspects that you can focus on. What are the things that you can focus on while writing an SOP? So it's not necessary, like just like Apurv said, that you take away exactly because it should be personalized. Like Apurv said, it should show the motivation that you personally have. The panelists should be able to connect with you. It should be that convincing. That is what an SOP does. So, Apurv, before starting off with the SOP process with us, how did you go about it, and what were the kind of problems that you had faced beginning when you started off the SOP writing?
Okay, so I think the main thing was uh, I didn't know how to perfectly outline it, like getting words, how to outline my whole journey. So I was facing problem there, and I
Yeah.
just didn't want to like after getting low GRE, I just didn't want to take risk of not having good SOP. So yeah, I mean these were the problems I faced here.
So all those people, I just want to understand who all have actually started with the SOP process, who have started writing their SOP right now. Can you just type in a yes or a no in the chat box? Okay, I can see a lot of yeses. They have started writing. So can you also type in as to these were the problems that Apurv had faced. So what kind of problems um, are you facing right now, so that we can talk about all those problems right now as we go ahead? So Jatin is asking, Apurv, did you join GRE admissions counseling? Wow. Okay. Uh, so proofread, how to go about proofread, what is the flow, word limit, and vocabulary? There's a lot of questions coming up. Uh, what is important in SOP? So this is the next aspect, anyways, we were going to take up. So what are the important aspects of SOP? Apurv, can you take them through that from your SOP process?
Okay, so what I focused, and I think what everyone should focus on, like you should focus first of all, like how you got into field. You have to show them like you are enthusiastic about a particular field. So there has to be some story like why you are going for this particular field. Everyone has it, so you just give one paragraph or two for this, like how you got into this field. Then you just talk about your project, like what you did overall for achieving this, or for that I mean to this particular date, what all projects, what all research you did in that field. And the third thing is what you will do ahead, like after doing your MS or while doing your MS also. Like you have to have some goals, like 5 years, 10 years. So yeah, these three things matter most.
Yes. So as we see that for each variant, so before I go to variants and all that, Apurv, just for them to understand, how did you exactly go about the SOP process? Like, what were the different things that you did and made the final SOPs for different universities? The process that you took up.
Okay, so I think it took around 10 days for the SOP, the master SOP. You have to first draft master SOP, because for each university you should have different SOPs. So it took 10 days for my master SOP. Then after that, for each university, you have to include the universities, some information about the universities, like the professor you would like to work under, or the research groups you would like to work for. So yeah, you should have, yeah, different SOPs for each university, like I did.
That's right.
So yeah.
Uh, yeah. And also, like, the exact, so when I meant from that question was like, how did you even decide? How did you come up with the master SOP in the first place? What was the process? What were the steps followed in coming up with the master SOP? Because that is the initial problem that most of these guys are facing. Because I have a lot of people going like, how should I start? With the SOP, are stories required? How long should it be? What is the form? It should it be formal language? I can see a lot of people asking this. So, what was that steps that you had followed from the beginning to get that master SOP in place?
Okay, so like I told you, I faced many problems here for designing a SOP. So I took GRE's help. Yeah, so they I mean, they gave different questionnaires. I had to fill it out. So yeah, and they when they gave their first when they gave my first draft SOP, so it just outlined the whole thing. Like how I wanted. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that was the main thing. Also, but there were different review processes for that. Like many things I wanted to change it there. So I took, I think, 2 or 3 review processes. And
Yeah.
for each university too, for each SOP, I took 2 or 3 review processes, so that it becomes how I want it to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Apurv, so all those people who were asking for the SOPs, we will now move to looking into the different aspects of SOPs, different things to take care while you are writing your SOP. So moving ahead, Apurv, can you just take them through? This is the SOP. So this is just a snippet of his SOP, guys, just for him to explain how he went about and what are the important things. So Apurv, can you take it from here?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the slides didn't change.
Oh, okay, just a minute. I'm sorry, there's some technical glitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I told you, there are three main things. First, you have to tell them where you started or how you started into this particular field. So you can see, like I outlined here, how I started into this field by attending a workshop and how it changed my entire, uh, journey into this. So this was the first thing, or this is the first thing you should outline how you started into this particular field. Yeah, we can go to the next slide.
Yeah. Just a minute. Yeah. Sorry.
Uh, it didn't. Yeah, I didn't got the PPT.
Okay, can you see it right now?
Yeah, yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you moved it one further, or
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so the second thing is you have to focus on a particular project or particular research. Like I focused here on my final year research, so I just outlined the what my research was for. So that's the second thing you should focus on your SOP, or you should write in your SOP, like about the project or the major project. Yeah, there should be one major project or some kind of project. You can also outline here an internship project that's to big scale. So yeah, this was a research. I wanted to go for research work, so this was my only research project here in security. So outlined, I gave it one paragraph. So yeah.
Okay. So I just have one question here. Who reviewed your SOP is one question from Tej here. And how did you go about the review process? A lot of people are asking, how did you go about the review process? So if you could just explain it to them again, that would be great.
Okay, like I told you, I took GREH counseling. So they reviewed it for me. They created my SOP. Yeah, so they created it and I reviewed it. I looked like what I need, what I don't need, and I just sent them back and they reviewed it again. So that was the process here.
Okay, so a very important takeaway from here is that it's very important that it's very, very personal. So making sure that it actually reflects who you are, choosing the right words is very important. So Apurv, we will look into more snippets of his SOP. But before that, Apurv, the language. So you reviewed it multiple times, right? That's what you said. So according to you, I could see a lot of people talking about language. So, what kind of language do you think would be impressive for the different universities out there? How to go about it, the feel of the SOP.
Okay, so the main thing is your SOP should speak on your behalf, or speak about your life, like life for that particular in that particular area. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's the whole crux how you got into this and how what you would like to do ahead. So I think there's no formal informal thing. Mostly it's formal. So yeah,
Hmm.
but you are talking about your life and your experiences. That's the main thing.
That's true. So I hope a lot of questions have been answered because a lot of them were about how and what kind of a language should be used for it. So I hope most of you, your questions for SOP has been answered. If I have left some, we will take up in the Q&A section in the end. And we'll also, like I see a lot of people asking about scholarship, we will take up that as well. So Apurv, the next half of your SOP, can you take us through that? The next part of
Okay,
your SOP.
so this was the last, like I told you, first is you have to tell about how you got into the field. The second is any major project. And the third thing is you would like to tell how, what you would like to do ahead. I mean, where you want to go after your
Yeah.
MS, or what you would like to do. So, like I told them here, like I am very passionate about security, and that's my main thing. Yeah, yeah, that's the main thing. So I just told them like I want to get to a particular field. Here I told them like I want to be a chief information security officer. I think that's the biggest role in security. So yeah, the main thing is you have to tell them where you would like to go after your MS. You can also write about research, like you would like to go for a PhD here. So yeah, that's up to you, but you have to tell, you have to write here something.
Yeah, Apurv. So I have a lot of people who are joining in between. So yeah, it's very. I have a lot of people joining in between, so they're just asking for you to repeat your profile so that they can connect to what the things that you're showing on your SOP. So if you could just quickly brush up through the kind of profile that you had, that would be great.
Okay, so like I told before, I had one research paper. I had an internship in security, and I had I have a few projects in related to security. So this was my profile in Crux. I had these things.
Okay. And here Harsh is asking, can we apply to same university for two different programs?
Yes, I think each university give options for give two options. You can apply for at least at most two positions,
Yeah.
two different fields. So yes, you can do it.
Okay. So I hope your question has been answered. So over here, like we see, this was the Georgia Tech SOP variant. So here you had applied for five more universities. So
Yes.
what were the major factors that you have to take care in making these different variants? That is something which is actually a lot of students spend too much time in. So here we made the master SOP, and then we edit it to form different variants for different universities. So here, what is your tips or techniques or how to go about making the different variants for different universities?
Okay, so for different universities, you have to go on their website and look for the coursework. So there's a separate section in SOP, one paragraph or two paragraph that you would like to write about that university. So
Yeah.
like why you want to go into that, and yeah, why that's the question, why. So you can write about I wrote about the research work and two professors name that I would like to work under them, and the research groups or the clubs, security clubs in my case, that I would like to be a part of. And some of the research topic, like you can see on the screen, some of the research topics also. So yeah, that's the main thing you have to write.
Yeah. So most of the questions were about that. So here, like he's saying, doing your research here about the different universities throughout the webinar, we have been talking that it's very important, and seeing what kind of research work, what kind of professors are there. All this is extremely important as we discussed in the university selection part as well. So over here also, when you're writing the SOP and to convince the different universities as which that you're the right candidate for the universities, you need to be sure that what kind of research work is going on, just like Apurv had just said. So here we saw a lot of different snippets of SOPs, the Georgia Tech SOP variant that Apurv had. So I just want to know who all are motivated to have such a convincing SOP, like who are ready to work, put in their hours to make such a SOP variant. Going having a 304 GRE score, not being demotivated by that, but still wanting to work and making a good quality SOP. Just type in a me or a yes in the chat box. So all those people, like, okay, I can see a lot of me's coming up, guys. That's great. Don't leave. Don't give up. Okay, that's what Apurv and I be trying to say. Okay, I can see a lot of me's. That's great. Upasna, Sheshagiri, Mallikarjun, Joshna. Great. So don't give up, guys, is all I would like to say. Focus on the remaining parts of the SOP variants that you have, the SOP process that you have, the other application process that you have. Focus on that and you'll surely get through it. But a SOP like this, so I just want to know who would all want a guidance when it comes to SOP, just like Apurv did, to give the right justice to your profile. So you can just type in a me or a yes in the chat box so that I can send a link where you can just fill it and we can go through what kind of profile you have, what kind of universities that you can go for. So who all are interested to get an admit or get a good enough admit, just like Apurv, in despite having all those different profile problems in their profile. Okay, I can see a lot of me's, guys. I love it. I'll send all of you guys a link privately right now, and just make sure, just promise me that all of you will work hard, because this is a long process, just like we talked right now. It is a long process, and just yeah, and most of you should be as motivated and not ready to give up as well. So I'm just sending you all a link right now, and you can click on that, register, and you'll get a call from us. You can talk to us about any kind of problems that you have. We will be having the Q&A and the scholarship session in the end. Stick till the end, but can you just type in if the link that I've sent in the chat box is clickable or not, just to make sure. Apurv will get to the scholarship session, where we will take up different questions from all the students here. Just to make sure if if the link that I've sent is clickable, can you just type in a yes or a no? I sent all those people who, okay, great. So if it's not clickable, just like I said, you can just copy paste it and visit the website, given your details, where then we can contact you guys and talk about how you can go forward from what you have. So a low GRE score, low GPA, all those problems that you said, you don't have to be worried about it right now. So finally, we completed the SOP section. So Apurv, can you just to sum it all up, we will be having a Q&A section, so don't worry, guys. Save your questions till the end. But what kind of tips overall throughout the admission journey, from your experience, what kind of tips do you have for everyone? Not specific to any step.
Okay, so yeah, the overall tip I would like to give is yeah, have there are different parts of having a good profile. There are not just like there's not like you have this like you have research paper, you have internship, and you have this. So you cannot you even I mean if you don't have, then also it's good. You can focus on other things too. Like I focused on SOP here also. So if you don't have a research paper, you can focus on SOP. So there's not just one thing that will get you admits. So I mean, yeah, profile building, uh, you can do anything. I mean, if you don't have a particular thing, then you can move to other thing. So in this case, if you don't have research paper, if you don't have a good internship, you can improve your SOP, because yeah, that's the main thing. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope most of you have taken a lot from Apurv. So can you just type in a me or a yes, all those people who are right now actually feeling like they can go about the admission process? Because as we started off, I could see a lot of people who are very confused and worried, but who all are very motivated so that they can just go do the little bit starting steps, even the research work. Just type in a yes or a me. Okay. I can see a lot of people. Amog is like a yes exclamation upward. A lot of people seem to be very motivated by you. That's great. So moving ahead, we will. Can you just your entire process that you had? Can you just tell them about the kind of experience you had with GRE?
Okay, so yeah, like I told you, I took GRES counseling, and they were very helpful in my SOP creation and other areas too, like my LOR creation and the visa process. So yeah, the main thing is the SOP. It was really good, and it played a really important role in my admission. So yeah, that's the main thing.
Okay. So, guys, I hope your admission process goes really well. And in case you want any kind of help, you can get to us, you can contact us. But before ending, I would just like to take up all the questions that you have. We'll take up some time, we'll take up the questions that you have regarding your admission process. So, Ria is asking how many LORs do I need in my admission process? And how should I go
Uh,
about it?
okay, so you would need three LORs for most of the colleges, two from your university and one from your internship or work experience. And how would you go about it? Like LOR should have uh, a particular, like if you're taking from your professor, then it should highlight how that professor looks up to you. I mean, how the professor feels about your work, or how are you in their class. And for the work experience or a workplace, how well do you do in your daily work? So that should be written there, like how professor feels about you in their class, or yeah.
Okay. So I hope Ramya, your question has been answered. And I have another person asking, can all the three LORs be from the professors? And another student asking, who all did you get your LORs from?
I think you have to get one LOR from a workplace. Uh, I think so, because most of the universities they have this requirement, like two should be from the university where you are studying, and one should be from the workplace. Or also for the second question, what was the question? Can you repeat it again?
As to who all did you get your LORs from?
Okay, so yeah, I got two LOR from a professor in college, and I tried to get a LOR from the professor who taught me most number of classes. For all the for both the professors, they taught me three or more courses up till then. So like it shows they know me more better than other professors. So
Yeah,
that was the main thing. And
that's right.
other one I got from my internship.
From internship. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it necessary? I have one person asking, is it necessary to get it from a high authority person?
Uh, in my case, I didn't get it from higher, like most of the people get it from HODs. So in my case, HOD didn't teach me anything, but yeah, she knew me. So, but then also I didn't get it from her. I
Yeah,
got it from like you should focus on teachers or professors who know you, who knows you more. Like she can write or he can write about it in the SOP. Like they taught, sorry, in the LOR, like they taught
yeah.
you four subjects and they took two or three labs. So that's the main thing. And
Okay.
yes, if you have it from a high authority who knows you better and who have taught you more, then it's a plus point.
Yeah. So it's not necessary to get your LORs from very well reputed people, but people who know you very closely and can vouch for you. That would be good, right? So I have some people asking here how to go about the intake, spring intake or fall intake. So what from your research when you were going for your admission process. So, what do you think? Is it should you go for spring or fall? What is the
Okay, so
difference there?
yeah, I mean, in my research, what I found, like most of the courses, they were like you get more number of courses, more number of options in fall rather than spring. Like
Hmm.
for example, if you have to choose from 8 courses, uh, I mean, if you have to choose 2 courses for any semester, so you have 8 options in fall, but you have only 4 options in spring. So
Yeah.
that's the main thing I got it from. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was the main, more number of people. That's why more number of people go for fall rather than spring.
That's true. So, trying for the fall season would be very helpful. And all those people who feel, we talked about this, all those people who feel like they're late, we talked about the timeline with Apurv. You guys can still manage to work through your entire admission journey even now. So what we had discussed before was taking up all the processes parallelly, focusing on both. Now that's the only option that's left, but that will get the admit that you require if you put your heart and soul to it. So there are a lot of people asking about scholarship, Apurv. So how did you manage to get this scholarship in Rochester University?
Okay, so the main thing was applying early.
Yeah.
That was the main reason I got my scholarship there. For Rochester, I applied in mid-October, and I got
Hmm.
also Rochester has rolling admits. So if you don't know, there are rolling admits and normal admit procedure. So in rolling admits, as soon as they get profile, as soon as a particular university get a particular profile, they start reviewing it. And for normal admits, they review it after a particular deadline. So Rochester
Yeah.
had rolling admits, so I got my admit in December. And yeah, the main thing was applying early.
Okay. So, so according to you, right now, the people, working professionals, fourth years, okay, who are targeting for fall 2020, what, according to you, how should they go about the deadlines or scholarship, applying for scholarship?
Well, if they haven't started applying for it, then they should. I mean, they should apply it before November, and I would say
Hmm.
uh, that will get them. And for most of the colleges, they have different procedures for
Yeah.
applying for a scholarship, so they can view if they need a scholarship, they can view it on their website. But for all the colleges, like I applied, so they didn't have any other procedures. So yeah, I had to apply before.
Okay. So, keeping in mind the scholarship deadlines and so did you go about the different process for, did you apply separately for scholarship in any of the universities that you had gone for?
No, actually, the all the universities I applied, there was no any separate process for applying for
Hmm.
scholarship. So I didn't do it.
Okay. So, so what according to you got you the into the scholarship in Rochester University?
I think applying early, and the second thing is my profile. So yeah, that also played an important role because I saw most of my friends who got into Rochester. Uh,
Hmm.
they also received scholarship, but even with high GRE, they received low scholarship than me.
Yeah.
So I think profile also played a really important role here.
Okay, so I have taken up a lot of questions, and we've already passed the time, so I can't take up more questions. We have to end the webinar now. But all those people who still have a lot of questions to ask and who are still worried about their admission program, guys, I am sending you a link where you can contact us, talk to us. Don't worry, and you can just give in your name, your mobile number, email ID, and we will contact you and talk to you whether what all you can do, and if you're a second third year, how can you go about profile building, and if you're a fourth year working professional going for fall 2020, then you can just fill in the details. Anyways, we will talk to you and guide you through your admission program, just like we did with Apurv. So, guys, best of luck for your admission journey. And I sent a link to everyone. You can just click on that. So Apurv, any last message for all the students right now going for the admission, starting with the admission process?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that don't feel like you are late. You can do it. Many, like in my circle also, many have done it late also, and they got really good admits. Also, don't feel bad about the low GRE or low GPA, because, like I told you, there are many examples who got into top universities with low GRE between 310 or 305 to 315 in CMU and other, even with low GPA. So yeah, don't feel bad about it because you can get it. And also apply, because if you think like you will not get it, you will not get it, then you don't know whether you will get it or not get it. Like I wasn't sure about my Georgia Tech admit, but yeah, I had applied it and I got it. So just apply. That's the main thing.
That's right. So, thank you, Apurv. Thank you so much for giving your time for all these students and giving them, shedding some light on the admission journey. So, I would just like to ask all of you who all really felt like this webinar, this Apurv, his journey helped you a lot in understanding what you can go do right now. You can just type in a yes or a no in the chat box. Okay. Ria is saying thank you, Apurv. A lot of yeses coming. A lot of people even asking for your email ID. So you can surely reach out to him. Is there any way they can reach out to you if they have any other doubts regarding the admission journey?
I think you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah, proper.
Okay, so a lot of people were asking that, so you can just reach out to Apurv if needed. So I'll be ending this webinar. Best of luck for your admission journey. I hope this webinar was as helpful for you as possible. The link has been sent where you can reach out to us. We will talk to you and help you with your entire process. So thank you guys, and I'll be ending this webinar now. Bye bye and good night.
Yeah, thank you.